Shabbat Shalom. Try once again to do this video without tripping over my tongue. Actually, I just wanted to talk. Been watching a few videos. I got one today. It was very interesting to me. And I guess the subject matter would be, what do you believe Babylon is? Now, I don't mean it in the traditional argument of it's a city. No, it's a religious establishment, because I think it's both. I think it is a country, and I think it is representative of a religious establishment, given the context of the different scriptures Babylon is mentioned in. But right now I'm talking about the religious institution. Is it enough to come out of a building? I would suggest to you that if you have come out of this building, or these buildings, these congregations of people who, and rightly so, a lot of people have pointed out false doctrines, false teachings, false prophets, to what do you, or I should say, where do you go? A lot of people like myself, um, I don't know a lot of people around here. I really don't know anybody around here who believes as I believe. So, my fellowship at this particular time basically is online. But, um, hmm, to what theology do you subscribe? Is it enough to come just out of a building and out of a congregation, but to go home subscribing to the same foundation that religious establishment is founded on? I think not. I think what you have succeeded in doing is bringing Babylon home with you. I saw, or I should say heard, a video sent to me about the great falling away. Now, before I say this, I guess I'll just put it out there that I get it from everybody. I am not any particular popular group's uh, favorite person. Number one, let me just say, I am not a teacher. I'm not here to teach you anything. I would actually say to anybody watching this video and any other videos on YouTube that videos should not be your sole sense of um, inspiration, or it shouldn't shape your belief system. The scriptures should shape your belief system. I only call things as I see them. I'm just another brother, and I mean that in every sense of the word. I'm not better than anybody. I don't claim to hear from the Most High more than anybody. I don't claim to be faultless or blameless. I have issues just like everybody else. But what I do subscribe to are the teachings of the Most High and of Yeshua. And based on those teachings, I'm seeing a lot of stuff that is very deceptive on any side of the fence. If you're subscribing to a theology that makes you follow a person rather than seek what is true in the scriptures, even though you're not sitting in a church, you have brought Babylon home with you. Um, anyway, this video that I saw / heard was about the great falling away. And it was typical apologetics for why people are leaving Christianity. And it was kind of sad to me to see and hear that people leaving this institution that was not based on the teachings of Yeshua, but instead was founded by a teaching that focused solely on his immaculate conception, as they see it, his crucifixion and consequent resurrection, as opposed to his actual teachings while he walked this earth. And in this video, the young lady she basically was making the case that I guess people like me, people like some of you watching, people who don't subscribe to Christianity anymore because we see it for what it is, we are the great falling away. I take not offense, but I just have a whole different opinion about what's going on in our time. For those of you who are actually truly seeking the Most High, and your path is not simply to achieve salvation, but you are seeking Him because you want to be what He wants you to be, then you will understand that perhaps this is a last-ditch effort by those following a doctrine that is not of the Most High. The prophets had a totally different view of the end times. And what's hilarious to me is I was reading a website, and this Christian guy, I don't know what his name was, I can't remember at this time, but he was talking about the prophecy of Daniel and how Daniel was given so much insight, but he wasn't given insight into the church age or the church dispensation. For those of you who don't know what a dispensation is, good for you. But that's another doctrine of men. As to other groups of people who are on the total opposite end of the spectrum, to whom I'm always lumped in with and I really have nothing to do with, at least not based on a lot of their teachings, I think that if you are following these people, you really need to reconsider what it is you believe. Simply because if you're truly following the Most High and you are following the teachings of Yeshua, then you will read that His disciples don't hate people. His disciples don't call people out of their names. His disciples don't subscribe to a doctrine of retribution. And this is why, and those of you watching who have ever done this know that I'm telling the truth. When you make a comment on a teaching that you see is completely errant, you get an influx of comments from the followers of this group. They call you out of your name, and even in the videos, how are you following the Most High when you're calling your brother a byword or your sister a byword? When you're claiming that when the Most High returns and gathers His people, it's to slay your sisters and brothers. When, while I'm not negating that could possibly happen, because all of the wicked will have some issues to deal with when He comes back, is that supposed to be your focus? Or have you brought Babylon, or a teaching that is not of the Most High, home with you? I'm not here to argue with people. I'm not here to prove I'm right and you're wrong. I'm just asking a few questions that people need to think about before they begin to follow men. A doctrine of the Babylonians, or in fact, in Revelations, he mentions a specific group of people, and nobody seems to understand what that group of people taught that he hated so much. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, but the Nicolaitanes or the Nicolaitans, either or, what they don't understand is that was a doctrine by its definition, or at least the Greek definition of its name, of ruling a congregation. So whether you're in a church and you're listening to a pastor, whether you're a Roman Catholic and you're listening to a bishop or a priest, whether you're a Hebrew Israelite and you're following some so-called prophet and not adhering to the teachings of Yeshua, you have brought Babylon home with you. You should really think about that. Shalom.